agricultural produce, like coffee, for example, are wealthier than all African coffee-producing countries put together. How is that possible? So in order to have an economy that is robust and sustainable, but also beneficial to the people of Africa, industrialization is indispensable. Value addition is indispensable. Thank God Japan is a highly industrialized country. We should work with TICAD and other institutions affiliated to TICAD and Japan to produce such technologies that can be used in even rural areas for processing and value addition of African produce. When we have that, then we will be able to have sustainable economies. Most of us have robust economies, but it's not sustainable because the determining factor is not in our hands. For African farmers to be as wealthy as European farmers, they must be in a position to be able to price their produce. Since what we produce is exported as raw, the indomitable world market fixes the price, and when it is processed, sends it back at a different price, take it or leave it. Unless we are independent of this invisible world market, we will not be able to have sustainable economy. We may have robust economy, but sustainability is out of the question, and we will not be able to extricate ourselves from abject poverty. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
The Tokyo International Conference on African Development was founded by Japan and a number of international partners 20 years ago to help boost economic development across the continent. But the Africa of 1993, when TICAD first met, is not the Africa of today, and Japan will have to evolve with these ever-changing dynamics in order to respond to the continent's needs more effectively.
Looking at the genesis of TICAD, it came about at a time when our former colonial masters abandoned us, thinking that we are worthless. Japan found it fitting to bring us and resuscitate African continent to a point where, from a continent of hopelessness to a continent of great future and a moving continent. That being said and done, I think many of my generation would agree with me that most Africans, the first electronic watch they ever wore is a Japanese-made electronic watch. And most of us, the first camera we ever had were also first cameras made in Japan. Mr. Chairman, this dialogue is very important because most of the Japanese products, in fact, every African village that you go to, it is most likely that the electronic gadget that you find there would be made in Japan. Unfortunately, these products are sold by companies that are non-Japanese. So we have a problem where even the vehicles, I think most of the younger generation of Africans that are here with me, people of my generation I mean, the first pickup they ever boarded would have been a Japanese pickup. But unfortunately, these are being sold by people that are not even African in the first place, and not Japanese certainly. So we have a problem of after-sales service, which is a major problem. So we welcome the fact that Japanese companies should really come to Africa, because we've been buying, Africa is one big market for all Japanese products, including electronics, music sets, and whatever. But unfortunately, these are being sold by companies that are not Japanese representatives, and in most cases they are foreign, non-African, and the prices also are inflated. I'll give you a typical example. Up to today, despite the fact that we've been independent since 1965, Toyota, which is one of the most favored vehicles in Africa, especially in the Gambia, is being sold by a French company. And after-sales service is a major problem. So we welcome this dialogue with the Japanese private sector, that we want them to establish after-sales service stations in most of the countries so that the goods would also last. Of course, things vary from one country to another with regards to conditions of the investment. But I think today, Africa is the most favorable in terms of conditions that are conducive to the investor with regards to repatriation of royalty and whatever. I think Africa has come a long way. This perception of Africa being unstable and unsafe, I think it's all propaganda. All African countries today are working together. We have less conflicts than we used to have 15 years ago, and I think Africa is on the rise. We are not perfect, but we can rest assured you that, for example, the Gambia, we give you the same protection that we give to Gambian companies. In most African countries, it is not a requirement for you to have a local partner in order to invest in that particular country. For the Gambia, that is not a requirement. So Gambia being the gateway to West Africa, you can start from there and see that Africa is a very, very competitive market. You'll have the same protection that you may have even here in Japan.
Officially opening the meetings, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe announced numerous financial packages earmarked for the continent in the next 5 years. The total envelope amounts to $32 billion in grant, which effectively gives Japan greater visibility on the continent. The package also includes $6.5 billion, which goes into infrastructural development, with additional commitments to providing scholarships to 1,000 African students and developing its human capital.
A superb precedent already exists at the Toyota Kenya Academy. Toyota Motor Corporation has built a school in Kenya with an expansive campus. At these facilities, through a cooperative arrangement with JICA, the school trains technicians not only in automobile mechanics, but also construction machinery and farm machinery. This is a school for developing professional human resources operating truly at Japanese standards. We will also invite administrative officials from Africa to Japan in order to create essential systems for advancing public-private partnerships. In this way, we will enjoy an interactive relationship between Japan and Africa at all times. Next is the area of health. In Japan, we have built up a system in which anyone can readily visit a hospital, even for minor health concerns. I would like to utilize Japan's system and experiences in Africa. I would like to take up the area of agriculture. For Africa, food scarcity and nutritional issues are long-standing challenges. While each country has been making efforts to boost food production, our goal lies one step beyond that. We would like to transition away from agriculture that enables the farmer to eat to agriculture that enables the farmer to earn money. While this certainly goes without saying at this time, it is the peace and stability of Africa that comprise all the foundations for Africa's development. Japan will in the future focus even more intently on peace building in Africa. The Japan Self-Defense Forces are already making strenuous efforts at this very moment in Djibouti to assist with anti-piracy efforts and in South Sudan to assist with nation building. Japan and Africa have now gone beyond being good partners to being more like co-managers. We are colleagues and at the same time co-workers. We grow together through our mutual interactions, and through this we have become partners that will bring growth to the world. In closing, I would like to say that I have heard that there have been calls for holding the next TICAD 5 years from now in Africa with a view to further strengthening our partnership. However, I find it simply